Welcome to Signal to Alpha, your essential market briefing. I'm Lady Muriel, cutting through the noise to deliver what moves markets today. Let's get you your alpha before the opening bell. Markets are processing significant political and geopolitical shifts this morning. Tuesday's primaries delivered surprising results. Trump administration foreign policy moves are forcing allies to recalibrate defense strategies, and a midnight trade deadline with Canada threatens billions in cross-border commerce. Here's your executive summary. Socialist challenger stuns establishment in Florida Senate race. South Korea announces military investment surge after Trump cuts joint exercises. Proposed $25 minimum wage could eliminate nearly 5 million jobs. And Iran's leadership reshuffle reveals narrowing decision-making circle. Let's start with the political earthquake from Florida. State Representative Angie Nixon defeated retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman in the Democratic Senate primary despite being outspent more than 16-1. Vindman raised $14.6 million compared to Nixon's $625,000. But voters chose the progressive lawmaker who supports abolishing ICE and Medicare for all. Nixon now faces Republican Senator Ashley Moody in November. The defense sector needs to watch developments on the Korean Peninsula closely. President Trump ordered substantial reductions in joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises, particularly the Ulchi Freedom Shield drills. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung responded by announcing plans to boost independent military capabilities and prioritize the nuclear-powered submarine program. This realignment strains Pacific deterrence at a critical moment, with the USS George Washington redeploying from the Pacific to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Middle East after over 260 days of deployment. The question for markets: can Washington maintain Iran conflict operations while preserving adequate China deterrence? On the economic policy front, progressive legislators are pushing the Living Wage for All Act, which would raise the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $25 by 2031 for large employers. The Employment Policies Institute projects this would eliminate nearly 5 million jobs nationwide, with Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Tennessee hit hardest. More than one-third of job losses would affect restaurant and hospitality-tipped workers. Trade tensions escalate as President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney held last-minute talks to avert a 50% tariff on Canadian spirits before tonight's midnight deadline. The tariff covers roughly $20 billion in Canadian imports. U.S. spirits exports to Canada have already collapsed 73%, dropping from $203 million to $60 million. Kentucky bourbon producers, supporting over 23,000 jobs and producing 95% of the world's bourbon, face particular pressure. Finally, Iran's military leadership reshuffle reveals strategic vulnerabilities. Tehran appointed veteran hardliners to critical posts, including 71-year-old Mohsen Rezaei as Supreme National Security Council Secretary and Ahmad Vahidi as IRGC Commander-in-Chief. The regime is recycling aging revolutionary figures rather than promoting younger commanders, suggesting wartime losses have depleted the pool of trusted officials. This ideological homogeneity reduces room for diplomatic compromise. That's your signal to alpha for today. Subscribe for tomorrow's essential market briefing. Trade smart, stay informed. Check us out at capitalcopilot.io.